So why does this weird Bond villain, Klaus Schwab, the chairman of the WEF, or the World Economic Forum, seem to have so much influence? Why is he at the G20 summit? He's not a world leader. Why is he there? Why is Canada's Deputy Prime Minister a member of the Board of Trustees for the World Economic Forum? Why do world leaders go to him? Why do they go to the World Economic Forum meetings? I mean, even Trump went, although you have to say, to be fair, they didn't like him. They didn't like him at all. And I mean fair to Trump, because if they like you, that's not a good sign. So why is Klaus Schwab so important? Nobody elected him to anything, and everything they say seems to be terrible. For instance, they're really into getting you to eat bugs. I don't want to eat bugs. I don't think that most people want to eat bugs. No thanks to the bugs. And I have a feeling Klaus Schwab is never going to be eating bugs. He'll be eating steaks or other delicious foods that are not made out of bugs. Oh, they don't want you to have a car, by the way. Goodbye, car ownership. Yeah, no thanks, World Economic Forum. I've got a feeling that Klaus is going to have a car whenever he needs one. Yeah, and I'm also not too wild about this insistence that I own nothing and be happy. Yeah, it's all a part of this great reset that they saw the COOF as being an excellent opportunity to implement. And it really doesn't matter if you like it or not, because with all the massive political influence they have, they think you're going to get it whether you like it or not. So this Bond villain, he's urging world leaders for deep systemic and structural restructuring of our world. No thanks, Klaus. Don't want it. Nobody elected you. Don't care what you have to say. But as I said, he's at the G20, and I guess he's telling our leaders what they have to do. So let's listen to that.
Of course, if we look at all the challenges, we can speak about a multi-crisis. An economic, a political, a social, an ecological, an institutional crisis. But actually, what we have to confront is a deep, systemic and structural restructuring of our world.
No, Klaus. I know you want that. I don't want that. And it's not like the world couldn't use some work. It's just that I don't like any of your ideas. None of them. But anyway, let's continue.
And this will take some time. And the world will look differently after we have gone through this transition process. Politically,
after we have gone through this transition process. Does that sound good to you? Just the way he says it. Does that sound good to you? I don't like the sounds of it.
The driving forces for this political transformation, of course, is the transition into a multipolar world, which has a tendency to make our world much more fragmented. And for these reasons, events like this one, the G20, and so on, are the very important connectors to avoid a too great segmentation.
First off, what the fuck does he know? Again, nobody elected him to anything. He's just some guy. He's some guy with very powerful friends. And what does he want? Well, let's go through the checklist again here. Okay. You eat bugs. No freedom of movement for you. Oh, and you'll own nothing. And I guess you'll have to trust Klaus on that. You're going to be happy about it. Yeah, I don't like any of it. And it's not even like it's hidden. It's all out in the open. I don't like him. I don't trust him. I suspect strongly that he has an underground lair. And I certainly don't like the fact that he's at the G20. And the leaders that are there should not be listening to Klaus Schwab. They should be listening to the people who elected them. At least the leaders from countries where you actually do elect your leaders. What has Klaus Schwab said in the past? He said, "We have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world. Then, of course, we have NGOs, we have trade unions, we have all those different parts. Media, of course." Doesn't sound evil at all, huh? "And very important experts and scientists and academia, religious leaders, social entrepreneurs, a giant laser." You know he's got a giant laser somewhere. If he doesn't have it now, he's planning to get it. That's why you're not going to own anything. He needs all your stuff so that he can make a giant laser. It all feels rather like they want to restructure the world for the benefit of themselves. Again, do you think the elites that are courted by the World Economic Forum, do you think that they're going to eat bugs? That they're not going to have a car? They're not going to have freedom of movement? Do you think they're going to own nothing and be happy? I think that's unlikely. I think this is about managing resources for the elites. They can preserve their way of life at the expense of yours. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.